Text 20. The seer is intelligence only, and though pure, sees through the coloring of the intellect. This is again Sankhya philosophy. We have seen from the same philosophy that from the lowest form up to intelligence, all is nature. Beyond nature are Purushas, souls, which have no qualities. Then how does the soul appear to be happy or unhappy? By reflection. If a red flower is put near a piece of pure crystal, the crystal appears to be red. Similarly, the appearances of happiness or unhappiness of the soul are but reflections. The soul itself has no coloring. The soul is separate from nature. Nature is one thing, soul another, eternally separate. The Sankhya says that intelligence is a compound, that it grows and wanes, that it changes just as the body changes, and that its nature is nearly the same as that of the body. As a fingernail is to the body, so is body to intelligence. The nail is a part of the body, but it can be pared off hundreds of times and the body will still last. Similarly, the intelligence lasts aeons, while this body can be pared off, thrown off. Yet intelligence cannot be immortal because it changes, growing and waning. Anything that changes cannot be immortal. Certainly, intelligence is manufactured, and that very fact shows us that there must be something beyond that. It cannot be free. Everything connected with matter is in nature and therefore bound forever. Who is free? The free must certainly be beyond cause and effect. If you say that the idea of freedom is a delusion, I shall say that the idea of bondage is also a delusion. Two facts come into our consciousness and stand or fall with each other. These are our notions of bondage and freedom. If we want to go through a wall and our head bumps against that wall, we see we are limited by that wall. At the same time, we find a willpower and think we can direct our will everywhere. At every step, these contradictory ideas come to us. We have to believe that we are free, yet at every moment we find we are not free. If one idea is a delusion, the other is also a delusion. And if one is true, the other also is true, because both stand upon the same basis, consciousness. The yogi says both are true, that we are bound so far as intelligence goes, that we are free so far as the soul is concerned. It is the real nature of man, the soul, the Purusha, which is beyond all law of causation. Its freedom is percolating through layers of matter in various forms, intelligence, mind, etc. It is its light which is shining through all. Intelligence has no light of its own. Each organ has a particular center in the brain. It is not that all the organs have one center, each organ is separate. Why do all perceptions harmonize? Where do they get their unity? If it were in the brain, it would be necessary for all the organs, the eyes, the nose, the ears, etc. to have one center only, while we know for certain that there are different centers for each. Both a man can see and hear at the same time, so a unity must be there at the back of intelligence. Intelligence is connected with the brain, but behind intelligence even stands the Purush, the unit where all different sensations and perceptions join and become one. The soul itself is the center where all the different perceptions converge and become unified. That soul is free, and it is its freedom that tells you every moment that you are free. But you mistake and mingle that freedom every moment with intelligence and mind. You try to attribute that freedom to the intelligence and immediately find that intelligence is not free. You attribute that freedom to the body and immediately nature tells you that you are again mistaken. That is why there is this mingled sense of freedom and bondage at the same time. The yogi analyzes both what is free and what is bound, and his ignorance vanishes. He finds that Purush is free is the essence of that knowledge which, coming through the buddhi, becomes intelligence and as such is bound. Text 21. The nature of the experienced is for him. Nature has no light of its own. As long as the Purush is present in it, it appears as light. But the light is borrowed, just as the moon's light is reflected. According to the yogis, all the manifestations of nature are caused by nature itself. But nature has no purpose in view except to free the Purush. Text 22. Though destroyed for him whose goal has been gained, yet it is not destroyed, being common to others. The whole activity of nature is to make the soul know that it is entirely separate from nature. When the soul knows this, nature has no more attractions for it. But the whole of nature vanishes only for that man who has become free. There will always remain an infinite number of others for whom nature will go on working. Text 23. Junction is the cause of the realization of the nature of both the powers and experienced as and its Lord. According to this aphorism, both the powers of soul and nature become manifest when they are in conjunction. Then all manifestations are thrown out. Ignorance is the cause of this conjunction. We see every day that the cause of our pain or pleasure is always our joining ourselves with the body. If I were perfectly certain that I am not this body, I should take no notice of heat and cold or anything of the kind. This body is a combination. It is only a fiction to say that I have one body, you another, and the sun another. The whole universe is one ocean of matter, and you are the name of a little particle, and I of another, and the sun of another. We know that this matter is continuously changing. What is forming the sun one day, the next day may form the matter of our bodies. Text 24. Ignorance is its cause. Through ignorance, we have joined ourselves with a particular body and thus opened ourselves to misery. This idea of body is a simple superstition. It is superstition that makes us happy or unhappy. It is superstition caused by ignorance that makes us feel heat and cold, pain and pleasure. It is our business to rise above this superstition, and the yogi shows us how we can do this. It has been demonstrated that under certain mental conditions, a man may be burnt, yet he will feel no pain. The difficulty is that this sudden upheaval of the mind comes like a whirlwind 1 minute and goes away the next. If, however, we gain it through yoga, we shall permanently attain to the separation of self from the body.